Jackson Turner stood in front of the mirror, adjusting his tie for the third time. The reflection staring back at him showed a young, handsome black man in his late 20s, with piercing green eyes and a smile that could charm anyone. Tonight, he needed every ounce of that charm. He had a mission, one that could change his life forever. His mind wandered back to the previous months, to the financial struggles and the mounting debts. College loans, his mother's medical bills, and the never-ending struggle to make ends meet in a city that seemed to thrive on crushing dreams. Jackson was smart, ambitious, and tired of being poor. He knew he deserved more, and he was determined to get it, no matter the cost. The plan had been hatched in the dim light of his one-bedroom apartment, over many sleepless nights and too much cheap whiskey. It was risky, morally dubious, and downright deceitful. But it was also his best shot at escaping the cycle of poverty. The target of his plan was Evelyn Montgomery, a wealthy widow in her late 60s, who had been making headlines with her philanthropic endeavors and extravagant lifestyle. Evelyn was known for her elegance and grace, but behind the polished facade, there were whispers of loneliness and a desperate need for companionship. Jackson had done his research. He knew about her late husband, a business tycoon who left her a fortune, and her lack of close family ties. Evelyn was vulnerable, and Jackson planned to exploit that vulnerability to secure his future. The first step was to get close to her. Jackson had managed to secure a job as a bartender at one of the high-end events she frequently attended. It wasn't easy. The competition was fierce, but he had a way with words and a knack for blending into any crowd. He had patiently waited for weeks, learning her habits, observing her interactions, and waiting for the perfect opportunity to introduce himself. That opportunity came on a balmy summer evening at a charity gala. The room was filled with the city's elite, draped in designer gowns and tailored suits, their laughter mingling with the clink of crystal glasses. Jackson spotted Evelyn across the room, a vision in a shimmering silver dress, her white hair styled in soft waves that framed her delicate face. She looked like royalty, but there was a sadness in her eyes that tugged at Jackson's heart despite his intentions. Taking a deep breath, Jackson approached her, carrying a tray of champagne flutes. "Good evening, ma'am," he said with a warm smile. "Would you care for a drink?" Evelyn looked up, surprised at first, then smiled politely. "Thank you," she replied, taking a glass. "I don't believe we've met. What's your name?" "Jackson, ma'am. Jackson Turner. I'm new here." She nodded, her eyes lingering on his face for a moment longer than necessary. "Well, it's nice to meet you, Jackson. How are you finding the city?" "It's a beautiful place," Jackson replied, his voice smooth and confident. "Full of opportunities." "Indeed it is," Evelyn said, a hint of wistfulness in her tone. "What brought you here?" Jackson had rehearsed this part 100 times. "I came to find a better life, ma'am, to make something of myself." Evelyn seemed intrigued. "And how's that going for you so far?" He let out a small, self-deprecating laugh. "It's been a journey, but I'm hopeful. Meeting people like you certainly makes it worthwhile." She smiled again, genuinely this time. "You're quite the charmer, aren't you, Mr. Turner?" "Only when I meet someone worth charming," he replied, meeting her gaze steadily. The conversation flowed easily after that, with Jackson deftly steering it towards topics he knew would interest her. He was careful to reveal just enough about himself to seem genuine, but not too much. By the end of the evening, he had secured an invitation to her next event, and more importantly, he had planted the seed of interest in her mind. As Jackson walked home that night, he couldn't help but feel a surge of excitement. The first step of his plan had been a success. Now he just had to keep playing his cards right. He knew it wouldn't be easy. Evelyn was smart and perceptive, but he was confident in his ability to win her over, to make her fall in love with him. And once she did, he would have everything he had ever dreamed of: money, power, and the freedom to live life on his own terms. All he had to do was keep up the act, to pretend that he was the devoted, loving partner she needed, to make her believe that their marriage was based on genuine affection rather than a calculated plan for wealth. Little did Jackson know he wasn't the only one with secrets. Evelyn had her own past, her own scars, and her own reasons for seeking companionship. As the weeks turned into months and their relationship deepened, Jackson would find himself entangled in a web of lies and deceit that would test his resolve and challenge his very notion of love and loyalty. For now, though, he was focused on the task at hand. The next phase of his plan required patience and precision. He had to earn Evelyn's trust, to make her believe that he was truly in love with her. It was a dangerous game, but Jackson was willing to take the risk. After all, he had nothing left to lose and everything to gain. As he reached his apartment, Jackson paused at the door, taking a deep breath. He looked up at the night sky, the stars twinkling like diamonds against the velvet darkness. This was it, he thought, his chance to finally escape the life he had been trapped in for so long. With a determined smile, Jackson entered his apartment, ready to take the next step in his plan. Little did he know, the journey he was about to embark on would change him in ways he could never have imagined, and the cost of his ambition would be far greater than he had ever anticipated. Jackson quickly became a regular presence at Evelyn's gatherings, always just a few steps away, ready to offer a drink, a smile, or a kind word. Their conversations grew more personal, slipping into quiet corners where they shared stories and laughter. Evelyn found herself drawn to Jackson's warmth and charisma, while Jackson, despite his intentions, felt an unexpected fondness for the elderly woman. One evening, Evelyn invited Jackson to her mansion for dinner, a significant step forward in his plan. Her home was a sprawling estate filled with art and history, a stark contrast to Jackson's humble apartment. As they dined, Evelyn opened up about her life, her late husband, and the loneliness that had settled in since his passing. "I miss having someone to talk to," she confessed, her voice tinged with sadness. "The house feels so empty." Jackson reached across the table, gently taking her hand. "You don't have to be alone, Evelyn. I'm here." Her eyes softened, and for a moment, Jackson saw not the wealthy widow, but a woman longing for connection. He felt a pang of guilt, but quickly pushed it aside. This was all part of the plan, he reminded himself. Over the next few weeks, Jackson and Evelyn spent more time together. They went to the theater, strolled through parks, and even took a weekend trip to the countryside. Jackson found himself enjoying her company more than he had expected. She was intelligent, witty, and had a zest for life that belied her age. He often found himself laughing genuinely, forgetting the ulterior motives that had brought him into her life. One evening, as they sat in her garden watching the sunset, Evelyn turned to Jackson with a serious expression. "I've been thinking a lot about us, Jackson," she began. "I know there's a significant age difference, and I'm not naive. I understand how this might look to others, but I also know how I feel when I'm with you." Jackson's heart raced. This was it, the moment he had been waiting for. "Evelyn, I care about you deeply. Age doesn't matter to me. What matters is how we feel about each other." She smiled, a mix of relief and happiness. "I want you to move in with me, Jackson. Let's not worry about what others think. Let's just be happy." Jackson agreed, feeling a strange mix of triumph and trepidation. Moving in was a significant step, one that would give him access to her wealth and solidify his place in her life. But as he packed his belongings, he couldn't shake the growing affection he felt for her. It was supposed to be a simple plan, but emotions had complicated things. Living together brought them closer, and Jackson found himself genuinely caring for Evelyn's well-being. He ensured she took her medications, planned activities to keep her spirits up, and listened to her stories late into the night. They developed a routine, a rhythm that felt strangely domestic and comforting. Evelyn, for her part, blossomed with Jackson's attention. She looked happier, more vibrant, and the loneliness that had weighed her down seemed to lift. Their relationship became the talk of the town, with rumors swirling about the young man living with the wealthy widow. But neither of them cared. They were content in their little world. One day, as Jackson was sorting through some old papers in the study, he stumbled upon a stack of letters. They were love letters, written by Evelyn's late husband. Curiosity piqued, Jackson began to read them, and with each letter he felt a deeper connection to Evelyn's past. Her husband had been a kind and loving man, and it was clear from the letters that their marriage had been filled with genuine affection. Jackson felt a pang of remorse. Here he was, pretending to love her for money, while her late husband had truly adored her. The realization hit him hard, and for the first time, he questioned his motives. Could he continue this charade, knowing how deeply it would hurt her if she found out? That evening, as they sat by the fireplace, Evelyn handed Jackson a small box. "I have something for you," she said, her eyes twinkling with anticipation. Inside the box was a key. "This is to the family safe. I want you to have it. I trust you, Jackson, more than anyone." Jackson was stunned. The key was not just a symbol of trust, it was a direct link to her fortune. But as he looked into Evelyn's eyes, filled with love and trust, he felt a surge of guilt. He had come into her life with a plan to deceive her, but somewhere along the way, he had grown to care for her genuinely. Torn between his ambition and his growing affection for Evelyn, Jackson knew he had to make a choice. The path he chose would determine not only his future, but also the fate of the woman who had come to mean so much to him. As he held the key in his hand, the weight of his decision pressed down on him, and he realized that his next move would change everything. The days that followed were marked by an uneasy tension for Jackson. The key to the family safe was a tangible symbol of Evelyn's trust, but it was also a stark reminder of his initial motives. He had moved in with her, shared her life, and developed a genuine bond. Yet the wealth he was poised to inherit weighed heavily on him. One crisp morning, Evelyn was out shopping, leaving Jackson alone in the mansion. He sat at the kitchen table, the key lying next to him. His gaze drifted to the ornate safe tucked away in the study, its presence a constant reminder of his internal conflict. He could take the key, access the fortune, and disappear, just as he had planned. But as he thought about Evelyn, her kindness, and the moments they had shared, he found himself hesitating. The sound of the front door opening snapped him out of his reverie. Evelyn walked in, her face radiant with the joy of a successful shopping trip. She carried a bag of gifts, including a framed photograph of the two of them, beaming with happiness. "I thought we could hang this up," Evelyn said, placing the photo on the table. "It's from our last outing. I want everyone to see how happy we are." Jackson forced a smile, his heart sinking. The image of their happiness, now a physical object, seemed to mock him. As Evelyn busied herself in the kitchen, Jackson's resolve began to falter. He had been so focused on the end game that he had ignored the emotional depth of their relationship. Later that evening, after dinner, Evelyn took Jackson by the hand and led him to the garden. The night was cool, and the stars shone brightly. She looked at him with a mixture of hope and concern. "Jackson, I've been thinking," she began softly. "I want to make our commitment official. I'm considering a prenup to secure our future together. What do you think?" Jackson's heart raced. A prenup was more than just a financial safeguard. It was a testament to her trust in him. He looked into her eyes, seeing the earnestness there. He had come into her life with deceit, but now he was faced with the chance to be honest. "I think it's a good idea," Jackson said, his voice steady despite the turmoil inside him. "We should protect what we have." Evelyn smiled, relieved and happy. "I'm glad you agree. I want to build our future together with honesty and trust." As they embraced under the starlit sky, Jackson realized that the choice before him was not just about wealth, but about integrity and love. He had to decide whether to continue with the deceit or to fully commit to the life he had found with Evelyn. The next morning, Jackson made a decision. He approached Evelyn with a serious expression. "Evelyn, there's something I need to tell you." Evelyn looked at him with concern. "What is it, Jackson?" He took a deep breath. "When I first came into your life, I had motives that weren't entirely pure. But over time, I've come to truly care for you. I want us to build our future together honestly." Evelyn's eyes widened in shock, but then she nodded slowly. "I appreciate your honesty, Jackson. It means a lot to me." They spent the following days discussing their future openly. Jackson returned the key to Evelyn, and they decided to draw up a new prenup that reflected their genuine partnership. They began to focus on their life together with renewed sincerity. As they moved forward, their relationship deepened. Jackson found fulfillment in their shared life, and Evelyn's joy at his newfound honesty was palpable. Their love, forged through trials and deception, became a testament to their commitment to each other. Jackson had set out to deceive Evelyn for wealth, but he ended up finding something far more valuable: true connection and love. Their journey was far from ordinary, but it was one they embraced with hope and determination. Life continued with an air of newfound honesty and trust between Jackson and Evelyn. They settled into a comfortable routine, their days filled with genuine affection and shared activities. Jackson's initial plan seemed a distant memory as he grew more invested in their life together. One evening, as Jackson was sorting through some documents in the study, he stumbled upon a hidden compartment in the desk drawer. Inside was a manila envelope marked Private. Curiosity piqued, he opened it to find a series of letters and legal documents that appeared to detail Evelyn's financial affairs and personal history. His heart raced as he skimmed through the documents. One letter in particular caught his eye. It was a letter from Evelyn's late husband, expressing concerns about a potential threat to their wealth from a trusted associate. The letter hinted at a secret, something Evelyn had kept hidden for her protection. As Jackson read further, he discovered a file detailing a trust fund set up for Evelyn's children, a fact Evelyn had never mentioned. The letters revealed that her late husband had suspected betrayal and set up the trust to protect her legacy and ensure her financial security in the event of any deceit. Feeling conflicted, Jackson confronted Evelyn that evening. They were having dinner when he broached the subject. "Evelyn, I found something in the study today. Letters from your late husband. They mention a trust fund and concerns about betrayal." Evelyn's face went pale. She set down her fork and looked at him with a mixture of fear and resignation. "I didn't want to burden you with that. The trust was meant to protect me and my family from any potential harm, including from those who might not have my best interests at heart." Jackson's heart sank. He realized the gravity of his actions and the trust Evelyn had extended despite the uncertainty surrounding him. "Evelyn, I'm so sorry. My initial intentions were wrong, but I've come to care for you deeply. I never meant to jeopardize your trust or our future." Evelyn's eyes were filled with tears. "I trusted you, Jackson, but now I see that you've struggled with your own honesty. I need to know where we stand." Jackson took her hand, his voice earnest. "I want to be honest with you now. I've learned the value of trust and love. I am committed to building our future with integrity." Evelyn nodded slowly, her expression softening. "I appreciate your honesty. The trust fund was meant to be a safeguard, but what matters most to me is the truth between us. We'll face whatever comes together." In the days that followed, Evelyn and Jackson worked to rebuild their relationship on a foundation of transparency. They discussed their finances openly and set clear boundaries to protect their interests. Jackson continued to prove his dedication through actions, not just words. The challenges they faced brought them closer, and Jackson found a renewed sense of purpose. The relationship that had begun with deceit transformed into a genuine partnership built on mutual respect and love. Evelyn's trust was not easily won, but Jackson was determined to honor it. Their life together evolved into one of shared dreams and authentic connection. Jackson had come into Evelyn's life with the intention of deception, but he found something far more valuable, a deep and meaningful bond that neither of them had expected. As they walked hand in hand through their garden, the past was behind them, and their future was a blank canvas. They faced it together, knowing that the strength of their relationship lay not in their financial assets, but in their commitment to each other. As Jackson and Evelyn's relationship deepened, they started making plans for their future together. They had successfully navigated the turbulence of the past and were committed to moving forward with honesty. However, life had its own way of testing their resolve. One morning, Evelyn received a call from her lawyer, who requested a meeting to discuss some unexpected legal matters. Evelyn's face grew serious as she relayed the news to Jackson. "There's an issue with the estate that needs immediate attention," she said. The meeting with the lawyer was scheduled for that afternoon. When they arrived, the lawyer revealed that a distant relative of Evelyn's late husband, who had been estranged from the family, had suddenly surfaced. This relative, a man named Richard, claimed to have legal rights to a portion of the estate and was demanding a significant sum of money. Jackson listened attentively as Evelyn and the lawyer discussed the implications. The situation was complex, with potential legal battles looming. Evelyn seemed worried but tried to remain composed. Jackson, determined to support her, reassured her. We'll get through this together, Evelyn. We'll find a way to handle it. As they left the lawyer's office, Evelyn's demeanor was a mix of anxiety and resolve. I never expected this. I thought our troubles were behind us, she said, her voice tinged with frustration. Jackson took her hand. We'll face it head on. I'll be here every step of the way. In the following days, Jackson and Evelyn worked closely with the lawyer to address Richard's claims. The process was grueling, involving countless documents and negotiations. Jackson's dedication and support were unwavering, and Evelyn began to see him in a new light. His commitment to their shared future was clear. Amid the stress, Evelyn received an unexpected visit from Richard. He came to the mansion, unannounced, with a demeanor that was less confrontational than anticipated. I want to discuss this matter privately, he said, looking both weary and earnest. Evelyn agreed to meet with him in the garden, away from prying eyes. Richard revealed that he wasn't motivated solely by money, but was seeking recognition and a place within the family's legacy. He spoke of past grievances and a desire to rectify past wrongs. Jackson, who had accompanied Evelyn, observed the conversation with a mixture of skepticism and empathy. As the discussion progressed, it became clear that Richard's claims were rooted in personal grievances rather than legal rights. After a long conversation, Evelyn offered a compromise, a small settlement in exchange for Richard's withdrawal of his claims. Richard accepted, though not without a heavy heart. The matter was resolved amicably, and Richard left with a sense of closure. Back at the mansion, Evelyn was visibly relieved. She thanked Jackson for his unwavering support. You've been incredible through all of this. I don't know how I would have managed without you. Jackson smiled, his heart swelling with pride. I'm just glad I could be here for you. We've faced challenges and come out stronger. That's what matters. Their relationship, tested by external pressures, emerged stronger and more resilient. The experience reaffirmed their commitment to each other and their shared future. Jackson and Evelyn continued to build their life together, facing any new challenges with a united front and a deeper understanding of each other. In the end, it wasn't just about overcoming obstacles, but about how they faced them together. Their bond, forged through trials and strengthened by trust, became the cornerstone of their life together. And as they looked toward the future, they did so with confidence and love, ready to embrace whatever came next. With the legal challenges behind them, Jackson and Evelyn relished a period of relative peace. They continued to strengthen their bond, focusing on their shared passions and dreams. However, just as they settled into a rhythm, a new complication emerged. One evening, Jackson returned from a meeting with a contractor about a renovation project for their home. Evelyn greeted him with an unusual sense of urgency. We need to talk, she said, her voice tinged with worry. Jackson followed her to the study, where Evelyn handed him an old, leather-bound journal. I found this while going through some old files, she explained. It belonged to my late husband. There's something in here that might be important. Jackson opened the journal, flipping through pages filled with elegant handwriting. It was a record of investments, family affairs, and personal reflections. Toward the end, a handwritten note caught his eye. It mentioned a hidden asset, a valuable piece of property that had never been disclosed before. As Jackson read the note, Evelyn's expression grew more anxious. What does it say? She asked. It mentions a property, Jackson said slowly. But it's not clear where it is or what its current status is. Evelyn frowned. If it's a hidden asset, it could be worth a lot. But why would it be kept secret? Jackson considered the implications. It might have been a precautionary measure, perhaps to protect it from legal or financial issues. Determined to uncover the truth, they decided to investigate. The first step was to trace the property mentioned in the journal. They contacted legal experts and conducted a thorough search of public records. After several weeks of diligent work, they located the property, a secluded estate in the countryside. Excited and apprehensive, Jackson and Evelyn traveled to the estate. The property was a grand but abandoned mansion, overgrown with ivy and showing signs of neglect. As they explored the estate, they discovered a hidden vault in the basement. With a mix of trepidation and anticipation, they unlocked the vault to find valuable antiques, artwork, and a substantial amount of cash. The discovery was overwhelming but also bewildering. It became clear that this was not just a financial asset, but a legacy that had been carefully preserved. Back at home, Evelyn reflected on the significance of the find. "This was meant to be a safeguard," she said thoughtfully, "but it also shows how much my husband valued security and privacy." Jackson looked at her with understanding. "It's a part of your past, and now it's a part of our future. We need to decide how to handle it." They chose to use the assets wisely, investing in projects that would benefit their community and secure their future. Evelyn felt a sense of closure, knowing that her late husband's wishes were respected and that their life together had new purpose. As they settled back into their daily routine, Jackson and Evelyn grew closer. The challenges they faced had strengthened their relationship, and their shared experiences had deepened their understanding of one another. The hidden estate, once a mystery, became a symbol of their resilience and commitment. They embraced their future with renewed optimism, confident in their ability to navigate any obstacles together. In the end, their journey had transformed them, not just as individuals, but as a couple bound by trust, love, and a shared vision for their life together. With their newfound assets wisely invested and their future secure, Jackson and Evelyn embraced a renewed sense of purpose. They began planning a series of philanthropic initiatives to give back to their community, driven by the legacy Evelyn's late husband had left behind. One crisp morning, Evelyn received an invitation to speak at a charity event in honor of her late husband's contributions. It was an opportunity to highlight their new projects and the positive impact they were making. Evelyn was thrilled, but as the date approached, she felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. Jackson, ever supportive, helped Evelyn prepare for the event. They spent evenings crafting her speech and discussing their goals for the future. Their collaboration brought them even closer, showcasing their united vision for making a difference. On the day of the charity event, the venue was filled with notable figures and community leaders. Evelyn, dressed elegantly, took the stage with Jackson by her side. As she spoke about their initiatives and the personal journey they had undergone, the audience was moved by her heartfelt words. After the speech, as they mingled with guests, Evelyn was approached by an influential philanthropist who expressed interest in partnering on future projects. The opportunity was a significant boost for their endeavors and validated the impact they were beginning to make. As the evening drew to a close, Jackson and Evelyn walked out into the cool night air, their spirits high. They were approached by a journalist who asked about their plans moving forward. Evelyn spoke with conviction about their commitment to social causes and their desire to continue their work. That night, as they returned home, Evelyn and Jackson reflected on their journey. "We've come so far," Evelyn said softly. "From uncertainty and deception to building something meaningful together." Jackson nodded, his heart full. "We've turned our lives around. It's not just about the wealth or the projects, it's about what we've built together." Their partnership had evolved from one of initial deceit to a deep, genuine connection. They had faced trials, discovered hidden truths, and used their experiences to forge a path of integrity and impact. As they looked forward to their future, Jackson and Evelyn were filled with hope and excitement. Their shared vision for philanthropy and their unwavering support for each other set the stage for new adventures and contributions. Together, they embraced the new horizons that lay ahead, confident that their love and commitment would guide them through whatever came next. As Jackson and Evelyn's philanthropic efforts flourished, their life seemed to settle into a harmonious routine. Their projects were gaining momentum, and they were both satisfied with the positive impact they were making. However, just as things appeared to be at their peak, an unexpected challenge emerged. One evening, while they were preparing for a major charity gala, Evelyn received an urgent phone call from their lawyer. The news was startling. A legal challenge had been filed against them. The challenge came from a former business associate of Evelyn's late husband, who claimed that the assets they had acquired were rightfully his due to an old, unresolved dispute. Evelyn was visibly distressed as she shared the news with Jackson. "This is completely out of the blue. I thought we had settled all issues with the estate." Jackson took her hand, his face serious. "We'll get through this, Evelyn. We need to understand the details and prepare our defense." The couple quickly enlisted their legal team to investigate the claim. The case was complex, involving old contracts and long-forgotten agreements. Jackson and Evelyn spent days sifting through documents and meeting with their lawyers. Despite the stress, they continued their philanthropic activities, using their public appearances to maintain their positive image. The charity gala went off without a hitch, raising significant funds and drawing attention to their causes. The event was a testament to their dedication and resilience. As the legal battle dragged on, Evelyn found solace in Jackson's unwavering support. He was by her side at every meeting, offering encouragement and practical assistance. Their bond was further solidified by their shared struggle. One day, after weeks of preparation and legal maneuvering, their lawyer delivered a breakthrough. It turned out that the former associate's claims were based on outdated information and lacked legal standing. The case was dismissed, and their assets and projects were secured. Relieved and grateful, Evelyn and Jackson celebrated the victory with a quiet evening at home. They reflected on the recent turmoil and the strength they had drawn from each other. Evelyn looked at Jackson with gratitude. "Thank you for being my rock through all of this. Your support means everything to me." Jackson smiled, his heart full. "We've faced many challenges, but we've done it together. That's what matters." With the legal issue resolved, Jackson and Evelyn returned to their philanthropic work with renewed vigor. Their journey had tested their resilience, but it had also reinforced their commitment to each other and their shared goals. As they continued to build on their successes, they knew that their partnership was stronger than ever. The challenges they faced had only deepened their connection and clarified their purpose. Together, they looked forward to a future filled with possibilities, confident in their ability to overcome any obstacles that might arise. Life returned to its usual pace for Jackson and Evelyn, their philanthropic projects thriving and their relationship strong. But just as they were settling back into their routine, an unexpected twist surfaced that would challenge their newfound stability. One afternoon, Jackson received a package addressed to him at their home. Inside was a series of old photographs and documents, including a letter from an anonymous sender. The letter was cryptic, mentioning undisclosed family secrets that could change everything they knew about Evelyn's late husband's past. Jackson showed the package to Evelyn, whose face grew pale as she examined the contents. "This must be connected to the old legal dispute," she said, her voice trembling. "But why would someone send this now?" Determined to get to the bottom of the mystery, Jackson and Evelyn enlisted the help of a private investigator. The investigator's findings revealed that the photographs and documents were linked to a long-buried scandal involving Evelyn's late husband and a past affair that had been kept secret. The revelation was shocking. Evelyn learned that her late husband had a child from a previous relationship, an adult now seeking recognition and a place in the family legacy. This child, revealed to be a successful entrepreneur, had recently discovered the truth and was now seeking to assert their claim. Evelyn struggled with the implications of this discovery. "This is more than just a family secret," she said. "It's a challenge to everything we've built." Jackson supported Evelyn through this emotional upheaval. They arranged to meet the new family member, who turned out to be a dignified and composed individual named Marcus. Marcus expressed a genuine desire to connect and discuss a fair resolution to his claims. After a heartfelt conversation, Evelyn and Marcus agreed to a mediated settlement that recognized Marcus's rightful place in the family's legacy. They also decided to welcome him into their lives, acknowledging the importance of family unity despite the complexities. The experience brought Jackson and Evelyn closer, reinforcing their commitment to each other. They learned to navigate the complexities of their situation with grace and resilience, using their newfound understanding to further their philanthropic efforts. As they adjusted to their expanded family dynamic, Jackson and Evelyn continued their work, driven by a deeper sense of purpose. Their journey, marked by unexpected revelations and personal growth, had strengthened their bond and clarified their shared values. In the end, the challenges they faced had enriched their lives and deepened their connection. They embraced their new reality with optimism, confident in their ability to face any future challenges together, strengthened by their unwavering commitment to each other and their shared mission. With the recent revelations and adjustments to their family dynamic, Jackson and Evelyn entered a new chapter of their lives. Their relationship, tested by various trials, had emerged stronger and more resilient than ever. They continued their philanthropic endeavors with renewed passion and a clearer sense of purpose. As they settled into their roles within the extended family, they worked to integrate Marcus and his family into their lives. They shared stories, celebrated milestones together, and built new traditions. Marcus, in turn, contributed his own expertise and resources to their charitable projects, enriching their efforts with fresh perspectives and ideas. One crisp autumn day, as Jackson and Evelyn walked through their garden, they reflected on the journey they had undertaken. The mansion, once a symbol of hidden motives and secrets, had become a haven of openness and genuine connection. Evelyn turned to Jackson, her eyes filled with gratitude. "I can hardly believe how far we've come. Our lives have transformed in ways I never imagined." Jackson smiled, his heart full. "We've faced so many challenges and discovered so much about ourselves and each other. It's made us stronger and more united." As the year drew to a close, Jackson and Evelyn hosted a grand celebration to honor the milestones they had achieved. The event was a tribute to their journey, a blend of personal triumphs and philanthropic successes. Friends, family, and supporters gathered to celebrate, sharing in the joy of their accomplishments. During the celebration, Evelyn gave a heartfelt speech reflecting on their experiences. "Our journey has been one of discovery and growth. We've learned that true wealth isn't just measured in assets, but in the relationships we build and the impact we make. I'm grateful for each of you who has supported us along the way." The crowd responded with applause, moved by her sincerity and the significance of their shared achievements. Jackson, standing beside Evelyn, felt a profound sense of fulfillment. They had transformed their lives from deceit and struggle to a legacy of love and positive change. As the evening concluded, Jackson and Evelyn walked outside, where the night sky was illuminated by a dazzling array of stars. They stood together, hand in hand, feeling a deep sense of contentment and anticipation for the future. Evelyn looked at Jackson with a serene smile. "We've built something meaningful together, and I know that whatever comes next, we'll face it with the same strength and love that has brought us this far." Jackson nodded, his gaze fixed on the horizon. "We've created a legacy that goes beyond ourselves. It's about the impact we have on others and the love we share." With their hearts full and their future bright, Jackson and Evelyn embraced the new year with optimism and excitement. Their journey, marked by transformation and resilience, had led them to a place of true fulfillment. They looked forward to continuing their work, nurturing their relationships, and building a future grounded in love and purpose. And so, as they walked back into their home, surrounded by the warmth of family and friends, they knew that their story was one of triumph and renewal, a testament to the power of love and the strength of a united heart.